Hey everybody, welcome back to JuJu's Journey. I hope everybody's had a great 4th of July weekend. I had a wonderful time. Absolutely wonderful time. But in this video today I'm going to be just talking about slowing down. I'm going to try to make a list, get organized, make a plan. It helps me feel less overwhelmed. And it also helps me feel more intentional when I do this. And you know, with my ADD brain, I have to make a list. So today I'm just going to be sharing a little bit my weekly planning and simple meal prep ideas, just so I can get a handle on life before it gets here. Today is Wednesday. Normally, I've been sitting down and trying to do this on a Sunday with the intentions of going shopping on a Monday. I'm retired. It doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. And by the way, if you're new here, I'm JuJu. This is JuJu's Journey. And I'm a 58-year-old widow for 1 year and a half. And I live on a fixed income retirement. So basically, it's just me. I'm going through a period again where I'm not sleeping good. Vivid dreams, talking in my sleep. You know, last night I did CPR on my husband, I know, for 2 hours. So I've been kind of waking up not in the best of spirits. You know, the other day I took a nap on Sunday, I think it was, and I slept so good. That was the best nap. It was either Sunday or Monday. We had a huge thunderstorm. Ugh. We haven't had one like that in a long time. Even the one that knocked my tree down, my big oak tree, wasn't as good as that one. And I don't know, I slept so good during that nap. But that night, I was up 2:30 in the morning, wide awake. Wide awake. And so my daughter calls me every morning on her way to work. And so she said, "What are you doing?" Normally I'm drinking coffee. And I said, "I'm asleep." And she said, I told her I stayed up late. And I was gonna, I said, "You know what? When I finish talking to you, I'm not getting up." And I said, "Do you want to know why?" And she said, "Why?" And I said, "'Cause I can." And I started laughing. I don't have to get up. I can go back to bed. I said, "I'm going to go back to bed." And I said, want to know why?" And she said, "Why?" And I said, "'Cause I can." And when I went back to sleep, I did not wake up until 11:30. She came over and ate lunch with me that day, but I door-dashed because I didn't even have time to pull myself together enough to even cook lunch. I needed bread. I was going to make us bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches, but I didn't have bread. And I was supposed to go to the grocery store. That was my plan, but it didn't happen. And you know what? I told her, I said, "You know why we can do this? No, while we're doing this?" And she's like, "Why?" And I said, "'Cause I can." So I guess that's going to be my new motto when I mess up. I mess up all the time. I mess up all the time, guys. But anyway, I decided I'm going to start doing my cash video stuffings on Fridays. And so today is Wednesday. I said, I'm not doing anything tonight. I'll just go ahead and plan. So if I do get out over the weekend, that, I'll at least have my plan together. My food, things like that. So I did DoorDash. I DoorDashed twice. I DoorDashed Sunday, and I DoorDashed that sub that my daughter and I had. Didn't DoorDash groceries. I did buy beer. I've got to go through my tomorrow or Friday whenever I do my cash stuffing, but you'll see this on Thursday. I've got to go through before I start my cash stuffing and log all of my debits, because I'd have run my debit several times. That's also linked with my DoorDash, so I can pay myself back. I'm going to make sure it comes back into my checking account. And so if I have to pull it from somewhere that I don't want to, maybe it'll teach me a lesson, right? So we'll have to see. But I'm not doing that tonight. So I know in my refrigerator, I checked, I've got bacon left, I've got lettuce and tomato, I've got cabbage, I've got hot dogs, and I've got biscuits for pigs in a blanket. I've got eggs, so I'm going to make some egg salad. I've got a box of that ranch pasta salad. I like it. I'm going to get some hamburger meat and make some, we call it, it's basically all I do is brown hamburger meat with onion. Put a half a block of cream cheese and a can of cream of mushroom soup, and then milk to the right consistency. And then you eat it over egg noodles, and it is wonderful. Looks like dog poop. Not, well, if your dog is sick. But it is so good. So, so good. And if you wanted to, you could put cheese on the top, but I love it. And it's so easy. Can't get any easier than that. So I'm going to get hamburger meat to make that. I've got a baked potato that's still good, so I'm going to get a can of cream corn. I mean, not cream corn, but whole kernel corn. I like corn on my baked potatoes. That'll be a good meal. And so I think I'm good. I think if my lettuce is still good, if not, I can pick up another thing of lettuce. And my cabbage and all that, then I'm on track. So I'm good. I'll go through my refrigerator to double check to make sure I have, you know, the mayonnaise and things like that. But I don't think my grocery bill is going to be that high. You know, I'm going to kind of, if I go to the grocery store to get a few things, I more than likely will, if I only need a few items, I'll probably pick up something. I'm going to need bread. Something to kind of be there for next week. You know, just maybe something. You know, maybe some boxes of mac and cheese or a Tostitos pizza or something like that. Just something for emergency, you know? That's all I'm saying. I'm not committing to anything. Okay, I do need my to-do list as far as the house goes. I've got to change my air filters, and I've got to do that this weekend. I do really want to hibernate this weekend, but if my daughter's husband's working, then she'll probably have me doing something. But if not, I'm planning on hibernating. I need a hibernation weekend. But I need to change my filters. I need to make an appointment, and I need to do that tomorrow. See, I didn't plan this week yet to get my oil changed. They sent me an email. You know, I'm really going to try to make a video of me unstuffing a bag for eBay inventory. I think that would be fun for me. And you might think it's, because it's like a mystery bag. I have no idea what's in these bags. Sometimes it's good. And then sometimes it's like, nah, you know. And I told you my Aunt Janice was a fashionista. Like, she had those Belk, well, any department store racks in her bedroom. She had a huge walk-in closet, jam-packed full. 2 double closets in her master bedroom, jam-packed full. The 2 guest bedrooms, because, you know, nobody lived with them after we moved out, jam-packed full. One of those round clothing racks, you couldn't even stick your hand in it because the clothes were on there so tight. No, another hanger couldn't fit, jam-packed full. She had another clothing rack in a guest bedroom, and somehow she made them look pretty. She was the best decorator in the world. She just made it look like it fit into the decor. It's kind of interesting now that I think about it, but I just couldn't throw it all away or donate it. She loved shopping so much. She would not go to the grocery store without her nails, hair. Everything had to be just right. She loved it. And she stayed up to date until she couldn't go anymore, basically. I mean, she was up to date on jewelry. She was up to date on clothing. She was up to date on everything. And she, I don't know. I'm zoning out a little bit just thinking about, I'm looking at her like I'm visualizing her. So I had an eBay store, and so I said, you know what? Because, I mean, some of these items are vintage. I mean, they go way back. And then some of them are 7 years old, because she passed away 7 years ago. But I'm like, it would give her the biggest thrill knowing that people liked her stuff, you know? And everything I sell, it makes me like, okay. I sold something of hers today, as a matter of fact. I've sold things of hers every single week since she's died. And then whenever I was really focusing on eBay, it would be 5 or 6 items a day. And I've got her stuff dwindled down, but I still have a lot left to get out of my guest bedroom, which is just bags of clothes sitting on the bed, not even in a closet. I've got such a mess. It's not really that messy. I don't have anybody that sleeps in there. Nobody even goes in that room, so it's okay. And I would think if I needed somebody to sleep in that guest bedroom, I could get rid of the bags on the bed. But anyway, I think it'd be fun to do a mystery bag and see what's in it. That would be fun. And then she was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Make appointment, get oil changed. I've got to do that for sure. So I'm going to say mystery bag. That's a mystery bag video. Tomorrow, Friday, it'll probably be, this will list on Thursday, and then Friday, my cash stuffing video. That ought to be interesting. I've got to go through my debits. But I'm telling you, if it's coming back out, I'm not going to forgive it with my little overage I have in the bank. No more forgiving my silliness. Got to pay the piper. If you play, you pay, right? Okie dokie. Let me see what else I've got. I'm not doing any family plans. I know this month is running out. School starts the last week of July. Can you believe that? And I do want to go see my friend, so I'm going to maybe see if the weekend of the 24th, maybe she'll be ready for me. Just the weekend or a few days. Budget reminders. No family plans, but I'm going to make plans with Beth. And I don't have anything that pending. We don't have any. Ooh, my son's birthday's on the 18th. So Good thing I didn't say go to see her that weekend. But that's not... That'll be next week. I can plan for that, okay? So as far as business goes, I did list on eBay this week, but not anything of value, if that makes sense. Those ACEOs, I was able to make new listings for some. So I did list my quota that I had for myself last week, but I'm going to do the same for this week. I'm going to list for the whole week. I'm going to say 10 items, okay? And if I go over, I go over. But I'm not going to overstress myself. I need to get on that. Because once they start coming to sales, I get so excited. You know, I don't get excited if I only sell like 4 items a week. But when you get to the point where you're selling like 6 or 7 items a day, and then sometimes 10, you get very excited. And then you go to bed and you wake up and you've got like 2 sales, 3 sales. Oh my gosh. You have no idea how exciting that is. Okay, my goal is this. These are my goals, okay? These are my goals. And I'm going to see if I stick to them, and I'll let you know next week. I'm going to list 10 items on eBay, okay? I'm going to film this week's YouTube videos. That means I'm going to stay diligent and intentional and do it. I am going to stay within my grocery budget and my dining out budget. Okay? Because I did not do that, I know for a fact, this week. I have not walked yet. I can't walk, y'all. I even have a treadmill in my garage, and I have a window unit. Unless I want my electric bill to be $500 this month, I can't go out there and walk. I cannot walk from my front doorstep to my car without having sweat dripping off my nose. The other night, 4th of July, 11 o'clock at night, it was still 87 degrees. But you've got to also put in that humidity from South Carolina. It makes it feel like it's at least 7 degrees higher than what it is. But it is so bad, so bad. I guess I'm just going to have to start moving inside somehow. I don't know. But I am reading, and I'm going to continue to read. And I'm also going to do devotion every morning. I've only done devotion, I think I did it like twice this past week, and I'm ashamed of that. Very ashamed. So don't beat yourself up, I guess, is what my motto is. But I don't know. So let me tell you a little bit about what happened this week. I went to my Aunt Debbie's. I had a wonderful time. But she's got a pulled muscle, which started in her neck, and now when she turns around, this part of her arm starts hurting, but it won't stop. The underneath of her arm's fine, but then it's got the bottom part of her arm tingling. She's just a mess, and she's the toughest woman on the face of this earth. Like, she's had 3 children, no epidurals. One of them was even breech. But this is killing her. Her heart is hurting. Like, she even went to the hospital and had x-rays done because she went to urgent care, and that's what they told her to do. So for her to do that and go to the doctor, because she does not go to the doctor. She suffers. She's in pain. So I didn't spend the whole entire day. She tried, and she wanted me to come. She said she'd be okay, but it was too much. I don't know why. Sitting the way we were or whatnot. So I left early and came home and ended up eating steak next door. That was wonderful. Then I went to my daughter's house for fireworks. And my son, I mean, not fireworks, just the 4th of July. He grilled out and we had beef ribs, potato salad, and what else? Something else, corn on the cob. And then he bought only $100 worth of fireworks. You know, they have the little boy, he's less than 2. So I'm thinking he's like 16 months old. In 3.5 months, he'll be 2. Okay, so he's like 16.5 months old. So, and then of course my granddaughter, she's 6, and she'll be 7 in October. Well, the box, everything looked kind of cool or interesting. So my son-in-law goes and sets up these fireworks on the sidewalk, and we're on the front porch, and we have the little one, and my daughter's got the camera or the video shining on the kids' reactions, not the fireworks. And so anyway, they came in this clear plastic bag with a handle with a zipper, and it looked like, oh my gosh, that's pretty cool, a whole big bundle. Well, he lit the first one, and I mean, they're beautiful, just, and they're going poop, 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 you know, but they're only like 5 feet tall. They're only going up to like 5 feet tall. They're not going up, and they're doing what the big ones do in the sky, but they're only doing it like 5 feet up in the air. And of course, they're just little tiny little explosions. And so you've got my grandson, who's now just staring, because all he has to do is look straight. He doesn't have to even follow up and go, whoa. He's just looking straight. And he's clapping. He thinks it's the most wonderful thing in the world. And then the 6.5-year-old's like, well, that one was a dud. It was hilarious. So they shot off these little, every single one. We were like, well, maybe that one's going to be one. Maybe that'll be one, you know, like a good one. Anyway, they were pretty, and the kids loved them. I mean, and there were fireworks going off everywhere in the neighborhood. But it was really funny. But they gave him as a bonus, like they just said, we're just going to throw this in. It kind of looked like a baseball bat. And he said you were supposed to hold it. That was the best thing ever. He held it, and I mean, that thing was just shooting out everything. He had to put his hat over his face. He said it was hot. And it lasted forever. So that was the finale, and it was hilarious. So that was a win. And then everything else back to normal. I've been having those weird dreams. Can't sleep good. I think now I'm kind of afraid to fall asleep, so it's taking me a long time to fall asleep. My brain won't shut off. I'm, like I said, giving my husband CPR for 2 hours last night in my dreams. Just crazy. Waking up talking to myself, full conversations. Like I'm halfway awake and halfway asleep, and I'm still talking. I can't even make myself stop having the conversation. And so, I don't know, I've been watching movies. I haven't been productive this week. I have listed a few items, but nothing major. I haven't been that productive, but that's okay. I'm okay with it. It's too hot. 4th of July week. You know, it is what it is. So, you know, that's just what it is. That's what it is. But this morning when my daughter called me, she was so upset. She got in her car this morning, and they live out in the country. They do not have cats. they don't even really see cats. But she started her vehicle, and she said it just sounded funny. And then all of a sudden, she heard all this screaming from, like, cats screaming. So she turned her engine off really quick, and she saw all these little kittens run out one direction, but one cat was still screaming its head off, stuck. She ran in, got her husband. He came out in his boxers. She said they opened up the hood, and just cat fur went poof everywhere. Cat still crying. She had an important meeting at work this morning at 8 o'clock. So she left him, drove his vehicle, and then he told her that the kitten was on top of the wheel well and just scared, and he put the truck in neutral and pushed it forward a little bit, and the cat came off and took off running. And he told her that cat was fine too. I hope that's the case, and if it's not, I hope he never tells her any different, because I think if he had to bury a cat today, it was just in the best interest for her to think that cat's living happily ever after somewhere. So if that's the case, I'm proud of him. But anyway, I'm proud of him because he went out there and he took care of the situation. And he took her car and had it washed. And switched cars with her, so she would have her vehicle and he would be in his. So that makes me happy. He's being a good husband. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him. But in my case, it's hard. I just kept telling her I'm so sorry. That really, really sucks. And I told her she can have the biggest resting bitch face. And I said, when you go in for this meeting, I said, you need to let everybody know what happened this morning, because that's what's wrong with society. We don't talk to each other anymore. And then if you don't, everybody's going to wonder, why is she acting like a you-know-what today? And I said, and then now they'll know why you're acting like you are. Because, you know, we go through things that are tough. And that's not a way to start your day. And plus, they've got a new dentist coming in. And so, I mean, it was a big meeting talking about the future changes. They had corporate. She works for a dental office that's corporate owned, you know, not a home. They have them everywhere, the offices. And so they had someone from corporate to come talk to them today. So she had to be there. But I just said, just let everybody know, so they know if you're not your normal self, that you just don't, you know, if they don't know you that well, they'll think you have a bad attitude, or if you're not participating the way they want you. You know what I mean? You don't want somebody to misjudge you because you've had a very bad morning. Just let them know it's been a bad morning. But here I am. Just bear with me. We're good, you know? So that's what I told her. Share with them, and then they'll understand. So that's what she did. And we went out and had lunch today, because I didn't have lunch cooked when she got off at 1. But anyway, I appreciate you watching. I am so excited. 96 subscribers. 96. I only need 4 more subscribers. And just, you know, honestly, just makes me so proud that even if one person watches, even whatever, I'm glad y'all were on this journey with me. It's a healing process. Very therapeutic for me to come here and talk. And if I can help one person stay motivated, let's do it. We can do it together, I'm sure. I don't know how, but we can. I feel like I take 5 steps back and 1 step forward. 5 steps back and 1 step forward. But gradually we'll get there. But just because I write all this stuff down doesn't mean it's all going to go perfectly. You do know that, right? But I'm trying to be intentional. It's a lot better than not writing it down. So if I do half of my goals this week, or if we do them all, my gosh, that's going to be wonderful. But if I achieve part of them, I'm still going to give myself a pat on the back, because this week's been a hard week. I know I say that every week, but this week has been heavy. Heavier than last week, just put it that way. And I know it's because I have a lot on my mind, and I need to give it to God. And I prayed last night, dear God, please let me just give it to you. Just give it all to you. You're going to take care of it. I've got this major thing going on that is so stressful to me. It's just killing me. Like, I've got a fever blister. I'm all broken out. And I have a feeling that me dreaming about my husband so vividly and so, like last night, he woke up whenever I was giving him CPR, and we hugged, and then he went back. And I gave him CPR until the paramedics got there. And then they were asking me what happened. And whenever I was sitting there telling them what happened, I said, this is what happened today, but a year and a half ago, he had a stroke and he died in the hospital. And then I was like, whoa, this is in my dream. He was already dead. You know, but I'm trying to bring him back. You know, I'm just trying my darndest. He's either on the, he's always somewhere where he's not supposed to be, but I can't get to him. Like, he was on the other side of a pond or a lake the other day, close enough that we could yell at each other and hear what each other were saying. And everybody's on this side, and there he is on that side. And I'm like, how did you get over there? You're supposed to be on this side. And I said, I don't have a boat. I can't come get you. What are you doing over there? You're supposed to be here. And I know exactly what that dream is saying. He's supposed to be right here. And he's supposed to be not dealing with what I'm dealing with. He's supposed to be alive to be able to deal with this, because it's his inheritance, not mine. You know, it's just sad. And now I'm trying to make sure it's right for my children's sake, you know, because it was their grandmama, not my mother-in-law. So I'm trying to, and they're trying to jip me because I'm not. It's almost like I'm the other woman or something. I don't know. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. They're not looking at me as the mother of my husband's children, and yes, I'm doing this for them, even though his will said it all goes to me. But who cares? You get what I'm saying? It was his stuff. Just because it's taken you over 3 years to settle this estate that's so simple, my husband should have gotten it when he was alive. You know? He should have been able to inherit his inheritance. Just because you're doing a lousy job at PR and not doing your job. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. Anyway, I don't want to go there. Just crazy. Crazy. That's stressful. Stressful, stressful. And I'm having to do something I really don't want to do. I don't like hurting people's feelings. But anyway, we're leaving on a happy note, okay? Ooh. Anyway, me writing down my stuff. And tomorrow morning, if I come up here, which I will, I'll go over this list again and rewrite it. Because that's the only way, pen to paper, pen to paper, pen to paper. That's the only way I can do it. And stay productive, that is. So, that's it just gives me a place to start trying to be productive. And maybe it'll help you too. Maybe it'll help you too. But anyway, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. And I'll be doing my cash stuffing and we'll see how much damage I did with my debit card. I hope it wasn't much. I know I bought beer. See, I don't even remember how much the beer was. I didn't want to know. I know I bought a swipe today at lunch. I DoorDashed 2 times. I think those are the only times I've used the debit card. So other than bills coming out, that should have been it. But I'm replacing that money. It's coming out of my envelopes. I'm not using that cushion I had. That's what I did for the other DoorDashes whenever I decided to give myself the gift of DoorDash. I love it so much. I can have on my moo go through my phone, and you can double dash too. That means I could get, what did I get? Oh, I got chicken tenders from my favorite little place on Sunday. And then they ran through tropical smoothie and got me an acai smoothie. So I double dashed. And they just delivered it to my front porch. And all I had to do is go out there in my moo and grab it real quick and run back inside and eat it. It makes me happy. It was so nice to be able to order that sub from Subway. My daughter was supposed to be at my house at 1, and I think I ordered it at 1:45. And I was hoping that they were going to beat her here. And they did. So right time I got it off the front porch, and I went inside and got our glasses out, and I had it sitting at the table waiting on us. She has no idea it literally got here with it. She probably passed the DoorDash guy. Those kind of things, that's fun. Fun. But anyway, thank you so much for being a part of JuJu's journey, and I do appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you so much for giving me a thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know one thing that you're doing or going to do this week to make your life a little easier, to make you stay on track, or make you stay intentional. You know, I would love to hear all about it in the comments. Even if y'all can just put a smiley face in the comments, just leave me a smiley face, okay? Bye.